Episode 8, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, hey, welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
And you know what? Hey, this
Yeah.
is our journey to 100 subscribers.
Yes, guys. So don't forget to like our videos as well. Okay.
So if you haven't subscribed, if you've come across our video, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I think we're at like 60 subscribers right now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So we're still very excited. So thank you guys for all the support.
Absolutely. Thank you so
and,
much.
And all the love on social media too. Like,
Yeah,
I really enjoy
We've got some good feedback.
for sure. And we welcome it. Okay. So please comment. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Any topics. We're pretty open about anything.
Almost anything.
Almost anything. I mean, I think we're getting good, as far as like, I mean, I'm not scared to talk about anything, but I mean, we do have boundaries.
Well, we'll see. Almost anything. But leave us a comment. For sure, subscribe.
Yeah.
And 100 subscribers is our short-term goal. So
I know, man.
that's where we want to be at.
Oh, man. It's been a week. I'm like, I feel not drained, but just tired. And I would say this past 2 months, work has really kicked my butt. I don't know if you've noticed, though. Like, I'm trying to,
I know you've been like traveling a lot. That's been taking a toll on me.
It's been like very, like, my mental health is very, I mean, I'm trying to work with it because the first half of the year is always hectic for me at work. It's like the most hectic time of the year, guys. And like,
But why though? Why is it like
that? More meetings, definitely more requests for some reason lately. Just like my caseload is just kind of crazy right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something like, and I talk about it with my colleagues, my friends, and is there like something that happens like during a particular time of the year?
Are they also busy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like it just gets crazy, but not only because your caseload gets crazy, but honestly just overall my caseload, I probably see the most clients in the first half of the year. That's when it's just like, man, like you said, so many visits. So lately, my mental health has been like rocky, which is not normal for me, guys. Not normal for me. And you know what? I think that's like just something really good to talk about. So it might be a little bit deep, huh? Because mental health is.
We'll see.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I was telling Tony that something that's been like really in my mind. I mean, we recently in the nearby city, we had like
Riverside.
In Riverside. Don't do that. Yeah, but I mean, on a serious note, on the Landmark, guys, a kid, and I'm gonna say kid. He was an adult already, but he was a baby.
He's a kid to you.
Yeah, he was a kid to me. He was still a baby.
You an old battle axe.
Oh my gosh! Why do you always like to emphasize that? You know what? I'm proud to be my age. Okay.
Proud to be a battle axe.
Hey. And what about you?
I'm like wine, man.
What? You're like wine?
Yeah, the older we get, the better we taste.
Taste?
Yeah, wine.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say this because it kind of like, seeking that preventative care and just the help, guys. So 20-year-old was found. I mean, he passed.
He self-deleted.
Yeah.
He deleted himself at the top of Mount Rubidoux,
which is a landmark.
Which you know what? I've never hiked.
You've never hiked?
No.
I've never taken you?
No, you haven't. Not me. You thought who you take?
I've already gone like 4 times.
With who?
I've gone with Megan.
'Cause not
I've
with
gone
me.
with Claude. No, I know, but you didn't want to go those times. Ooh, that would be good, guys. I need to talk to you guys about our hiking adventures. But yeah, unfortunately,
Oh, no, hold on, because I was gonna say it's actually. I mean, rest in peace to that guy, and
our condolences,
condolences
guys. Yeah.
to his family. But it's a little poetic because there's a cross at the end of the trail.
No, he literally was by the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally was by the cross. And, just thinking about it, and as many times as I've been up there, it is a landmark. Pretty cool history up there, but I don't think that it's ever going to be the same as well. Just knowing that. I think he definitely changed things, but that's besides the point. I mean, he's so young. And I mean, I was just going back to that, like seeking that help. And mental health is crazy, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like the mood part of it. I mean, I know there's so many branches to mental health, but I think that you've worked in the mental health field as well.
Yeah.
You went to school for it. You worked in it.
It was mind you, what I experienced with work was a little different than like the norm. The people I worked with were like
more psychotic mental health part of it.
They were experiencing psychosis. They had committed like heinous crimes, like things
we're not talking about that.
Things you would only read about or hear in the news.
But I mean, I guess you can also relate to that, like as far as people that are going through something like that and not seeking professional help.
Clearly, I mean, the story I heard was the guy was actually arguing with his significant other. And I don't know, what was going through his head. But clearly he was so stressed that, deleting himself was the only way out or the answer to alleviating his stress.
I mean, I just, I don't know, because I was just reading on it, and statistically, like it's incredible how high the numbers are, in the age. Like I was just reading, like it's risen like 36% for males, within the last like 2 decades. And I think they were saying that it's like the second leading cause of death for like, if I'm not mistaken, like from ages 10 to 14 and then 20, and it jumps to like 20 to 32 or 34. But they're like babies, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I remember, I think this had to have been like around maybe like 2018 or so, something like that. A girl went on Facebook Live. Deleted herself while, on a tree.
I remember that.
That was so crazy, man. That was so sad.
That's insane, man.
So sad. And she was like you said, like maybe 12 or something like that.
It's crazy. Like in 2023, like 50,000 deaths. I mean, like suicidal deaths, like just in the U.S. Put that into perspective, man. Like 50,000 people. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can say that word. I'll say something else.
Oh, okay. 15,000 people that deleted themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting that into perspective, like, working in the field that I do, I'm just always like questioning and having questions. I think more so because, I do come across a lot of like the healthcare system, and it just seems like instead of us making progress, what's happening. You know what I mean? And I mean, we could probably answer that. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the industry, like more money, you know, not really targeting us like
So I think that's part of the problem. And I was actually talking to somebody about this. I was talking to Elias about this. There's a lot of money in pharmaceuticals.
man.
Unfortunately,
You know,
there's too much money. And
what are the movies that you watched recently that was about the narcotics? Wasn't it one like Oxycontin or?
yeah,
By the way, guys, watch that movie because I mean I saw it, you know, working in the medical field. I will never ever forget, you know, these stories. But I mean, yeah, like people losing their lives over it. But yeah, just because they're making money.
There was the one with Michael Keaton. That one was really good. And then the other one I'm watching now. But it's basically like the same story.
Yeah, it's the same story.
Yeah, so I haven't finished that one.
But yeah, you're right. It's all about money.
There's a lot of money, and so, you know, here's my thing. Granted, again, the setting I was in was not a normal setting, but we just fed these people meds all day long. Just fed them meds,
Right.
and
I just want to say, like, we're not saying not to. You know what I mean? Let's just put that out there.
No.
Like, we're not saying that, but yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
But here's the thing: we fed them meds, and you know it might work for a little bit, and then they experience psychosis again. Increase the dose.
Right.
Experience psychosis again. Increase the dose.
Right.
You get to a point where you know you increase the dose so much you're no longer within FDA limits. So you know now what do? Now you give them a new drug.
Or multiple. You know.
And
Like,
I remember passing meds. Oh my gosh, man! They had our meds came on strips. And
like
so,
what was the most that you like? that
dude?
you
I
saw?
mean, I would give guys like their each individual package, like just connected to each other, like strips, like you know this long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how
How are they even gonna function? How are they
Yeah.
even? You know.
dudes walking around like zombies.
Right. And then let's look at the big picture. So they're walking around like zombies because they're given this medication every day, and they're receiving therapy. Right? They're receiving like they're being seen by
But
specialists.
see, that's the thing. Where I worked, there's not enough emphasis on the therapy.
Really?
Yeah, there was much more emphasis on medication.
Medication. So would not so much like the proper diagnosis, or were they because they were
No,
already
I think-
diagnosed and they were just gonna go over based on whatever they arrived with?
I don't think there was improper diagnoses.
Do you think if that ever happens though? I mean that here, this is what, you know, you were like, do they even dissect like the diagnosis once they get there?
Well, see, I didn't work on the intake side.
Okay.
So the people that I worked with, they had already been in the system. They
Right.
already stable on their. They already had
I
like
see
their
what you're
whole
saying.
regimen.
Okay.
You know, people who worked on the other side, their experience is completely different because they are definitely more acutely ill. They haven't had time to have their meds like stabilize them, and so those guys are, you know, very dangerous. I didn't do too much time over there. I would like float over there sometimes, but as far as like misdiagnosing, I wouldn't say that was the issue. I think that you know I do think that there wasn't enough emphasis on the therapy part.
There was.
There was not enough emphasis on therapy.
Yeah.
A lot of it was group therapy. And I don't know. I don't think group therapy is for everybody. You know,
I agree.
Yeah, I did that for a little bit, and I just felt like I didn't have enough attention, and so like my needs were not met.
Well, okay, so let's back up before we talk about your experience because so we're talking about the mental health, like the healthcare part, right? And I don't know, like it just baffles me, man. Like I just don't understand why, because we already know, you I'm saying you guys, but people overall, like I think the stigma we are talking about, I guess let's just say we're talking about like depression, anxiety, stress, and we already know you guys are the number one gender that do not like to speak up. You guys kind of more isolate your feelings, you hold back, or do not seek the proper help, right? So I think just knowing that in itself, like what's missing? Like is it just you guys that are not, going, you guys are going to continue to do that? Or are we just failing as a society? Like, is there still such a big stigma behind that? Because I don't know, maybe because the field that I work in, I hear it. You know what I mean? It's part of
Yeah.
my world. So, but I still hear those things. Like I still hear it. And I've been hearing it for a very long time.
So I definitely think it's a societal issue. I will say that I think in today's age, I think that it's gotten a little bit better because people just in general are more self-aware.
But then why
And
are the rates so are higher? Like it continues to rise. You know what I mean?
you know that I mean I don't know. I know there's like just in general between men and women, seeking help for mental health, it doesn't have the stigma that it used to have. I feel like when we were growing up and even before that, if you were in therapy, you were probably seen as like crazy,
Right.
and
Right.
nowadays it's like everybody has a therapist,
Or
or everybody's on some kind of medication.
like for mood behavior. Like, okay.
Yeah, to like prevent depression
Right.
or something like that.
So that's, and then just to know that it's a second leading cause and it's also within like the ages from 10 to 14. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, wow, man. Like, I'm just thinking like what's happening in that age range, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, what are these, like, why not target in this population and kind of like focus on that? Like, you know what I mean? To prevent those kind of emotions, like feeling lonely, because I'm just looking back, man. And I honestly, I think part of me, I can empathize, right? That's all I can really do because I don't think that I've ever been depressed. And I know what it is because I've been around people, you know what I mean, that have severe depression. And so I'm trying to like understand how is it that we can fully like start helping people, not get to that point of like feeling empty and lonely and say this is it. I can't fathom
I don't
like
know. I
like
don't
getting
really.
to that point, man.
I don't know. I mean, I think that part of it just has to do with where we're at in our society nowadays. Like we're on our phones all the time, especially the kids. So there's probably
That's a good point.
already
Yeah.
there's some sense of loneliness already because they have a hard time communicating with one another.
Or connecting, building
Yeah.
relationships.
So, you have these kids like living through their phones, already lonely. and I think it really trickles down from there. You know, they probably have all of these like fake relationships.
That's what Elias says.
You know?
It's sad too. It's sad because, and this is like to the parents, it's sad because Elias, it's one of the things that he tells me. It's really hard for me to understand when I tell him, he's new at this was his first year at this brand new school. And when I talk to him about building relationships, making friends, he says it's very difficult. It's not that he wants to be picky, but the one thing that he did say, it's like, it's fake, Mom. Not that it's fake. He's like, you don't know if it's going to be fake because all these kids want to act like what they see in social media. And
yeah,
he's
and
like,
I was just about to say that a lot of people probably make like Instagram relationships. Those relationships where you can like film something and look cool online.
and that's like, man, like, I guess, yeah, you're right. But then we look, so we kind of can see what's probably the issue with the younger generation. But then you go to the 20s range. What did I say? It was from 20 to 32.
Yeah, something like that.
And same thing, I guess. That's very important, right? Like relationship wise. But I don't know, man. I'm just thinking like he's so young, 20 years old, just starting life.
Who knows what goes through their head?
I mean, like I try to read, like, and I do read, what depression does, and it's so like, people say like your mind is battling like your own body. It's like something that you have to stop, but you can't. I mean, you can talk about your experience if you're open about it, like, what you went through.
I was in therapy, once for getting hurt at work.
Right.
Okay, but then the second time, just to like help myself from, past trauma.
Right.
So
that
but
was
I
more,
wouldn't say like I was necessarily depressed. More or less like just wanting to like overcome, things from the past.
okay, so yeah, that's completely different.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say depression. No.
Right.
No.
Right. So
I did want to say this though. For those of you who like don't know me personally, I did lose my dad to self-deletion. And his birthday would have actually been in a couple days. Actually, his birthday would have been the day now that we're recording.
right.
And it's crazy because I'm just like, man, like I'm older than he was.
Insane. Yeah. That's
like,
insane.
Like that's crazy to me.
And there's also that, after effect, like after that happens, like everything that, I don't know, like I can't even think, like the family, the pain,
Yeah.
and that's besides the point. Like we're thinking about the person, but I mean, I like remember we watched that documentary about the Golden Bridge. Remember that?
Yeah.
And just listening to one of the survivors, it's not so much that they're not thinking about their loved ones. It's almost like
give them some context.
So it's basically a documentary about, the Golden Bridge, of people jumping off. And this guy, he puts up a camera and records for a whole year. I mean, obviously he would like off and on would go get his camera, but he would just leave his camera, and he captured people jumping off the Golden Bridge. And there was one where he didn't capture this one, but the guy was a survivor, and he talked about his experience,
I think he did capture that one.
I don't think so. No, I don't think he captured them. Did he?
I don't know. There were so many. Like,
Yeah, there's
statistically, just based on the footage, it was like one a week.
was it 1 week? I thought it was a whole year
No.
that he was recording.
Yes, but it was like
you're
like
talking
one
okay.
person
Right.
a week
Oh, right.
statistically. That's
Yeah.
like the way the numbers worked out. And
He
so
said-
so many people have jumped off that bridge. They stopped counting.
He said that people even fly in from different states just to go to that spot.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like sometimes it's very eerie there too as well?
No, I've never felt that.
No, like I
No.
don't know what it is, guys. Like I love San Francisco, by the way, but every time I go to the bridge, it's always like so foggy and eerie. The times that we got, come on, you can't lie to me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, it's near the water, so it's foggy.
It's probably
you know, but
also
I
with
think
my
it's
mind, playing with
just-
my mind, knowing what you
Yeah.
know that's part of it. That maybe I just see it that way now. But the guy that was talking about, what he was experiencing prior to doing that. You know what I mean? And I really think that really helped me understand, like, wow, because sometimes we tend to like think like, wow, a lot of people will say how selfish, right? How selfish or cowardly, and I hear it to this day. And actually, even with this incident, like reading some of the comments on some of the posts, like I literally read that, and it's kind of unfair. Like it's really unfair to say that because, if you're not
You read the comments on what?
on this incident that we're talking about, the one in Rubidoux.
Oh, no, I didn't go that far.
Yeah, I was reading the comments and it was just sad. First of all, come on, people. Like the people are the families are already going through a very difficult time. Like they don't need to be reading, comments like that. But yeah, I think that the next step would be talking about it more of what we have to do to improve this
Yeah, I think mental health is definitely important for everybody, but I think it's even more so important for guys because we do tend to skip over that.
right. Well, one of the things that I was listening to was, girls, we tend to be in groups. And I think that's very true. Like we tend to have like our sisterhood pack, and we do vent. We do talk about our problems, and I think a big part of it that helps out. Whereas what do you guys talk about? Because I know you guys are gossipers. You guys are Vinci Small. So it's like, it's so funny that my friend at work, we're just talking about this. We were like, you know what? Guys are chismosos just like women are.
That's a lie.
No, come on. You got to be honest with me. You
That's
guys
a
are
lie.
not chismosos?
No.
Okay, do you like the chisme though? Chisme means gossip, guys.
Do I like cheese, man?
Do you like listening to the cheese? Yeah, very okay. Then don't-
It depends, but if I'm with the fellas, I'm not just, gossiping. Like, oh, bro, hey, guess what I heard? No.
Right. But that's not that has nothing to do with it. But yeah, we like to talk, vent, It's like, and you guys kind of don't then.
We're like the opposite. We're talking about like sports teams and video games and cars and whatever else.
Yeah. And, I think with Ditone and I, like, again, because we're very aware of that, it's gotten better over the years where, now we do tend to check up on each other. Right. Like we try to see, okay, how are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
how are you feeling this? Well, I'll wait a week. I'm probably the one that actually brings it up. I would ask like, okay, how was your week? How are you feeling? Not physically, but mentally. Right. And I think that's very important. Like we have to check on each other. I think that's what it is meant to. You know what I mean? We need to check on each other. Like, communication for sure.
And I think one of the things for me is that, like as the man of the relationship and the father, you know, I'm trying to cater to you guys. And so,
You
you
forget
know,
that you need to check up on yourself.
well, not just that, but you know, like if I, let me see how to word this. If I'm having a moment, like, you know, what am I supposed to do? Like if I'm having a moment, I feel like things will like crumble.
But let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Because self-care is important. You know, and I think that's what we have to do. Like right now, like I said in the beginning, my mental health is a little bit rocky, and it's been a minute that I've done anything with my friends or done anything like for self-care. I haven't
Didn't you
hiked.
just go out with them?
When?
You just had dinner with them.
Yeah, that's right. I had friends. Yeah, you're right. I did. Yeah, but it was like so fast.
Wasn't that impactful?
It was just like so fast too. No, it was. I always enjoy my time with my friends because it is true. Like you don't think about anything else, and that's what I need. But maybe I need it every week. Hey, when I have rough weeks, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
But let's maybe no. Honestly, even if it's like our date nights or something that we do, like for example, we just chill, we watched our shows, like that really helps me out. And I think maybe that's another important factor, finding outlets that are going to work for you. And I sometimes I think that's really hard for people, especially if you're like an introvert, like you really don't go out or don't have friends. Like you kind of have to get to the point where you're okay with being by yourself and working on your mental state.
I think the thing is finding healthy outlets.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the thing, because people have their outlets, right?
Guys,
they're not
nature
healthy.
is great. I don't know why people don't believe me, but I want to emphasize, go do something with nature. Like it doesn't matter. Quiet time, just challenge yourself. Maybe we don't challenge ourselves enough.
What do you call it? Planting yourself.
Planting yourself,
Is
yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Planting yourself, right? See? But I mean, that was just really something really big when I was going to school. And I didn't really know much about it prior to that. How sad. I lost a lot of years.
Really?
I did, man. If I would have known, like, yeah, probably would have. Although I'll say this, and I'm going to, refer back to my spirituality. I think that has really grounded me, at a very young age. And I would say even a very young age, having lost family members, probably that was the beginning point of my life where I was able to question, like, my emotions, my feelings. And I think a lot of people even ask me, like, question why I why I wasn't depressed. And I never understood that, honestly. I never understood why people would ask me that until as an adult. Like, wow, I probably would have. I should have been depressed. But I don't know. I guess my faith probably kept me, going back to God and questioning him. Like when people say like you shouldn't question God, like don't believe that, guys. You should question God because God will give you God wants you to question him because you need answers, and that's the only way we're gonna grow spiritually. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I pray about it. Like connect with people of faith, probably, I would say.
So what would you say are some of your healthy outlets?
Some of my healthy outlets. So I was telling, okay, so Antonio says like My type of relaxation can vary. So believe it or not, being with family, Wichiton is like, you're not resting. Like when I'm around my family, like we're a lot. We could be loud. And sometimes I need that. Like I don't like silence, and it just depends, I guess. But my family is a big outlet for me. Having that sense of connection. And I think because it also clears out the stuff that I want to clear out. Does that make sense? Having people like talk about funny things or believe it or not. Okay, so I could go back to that, but yeah, that's one. Nature. That's just something that I've actually learned maybe in the past 5 years. I've really, really enjoyed it. Like starting hiking. I love kayaking. Like I never thought I would. You know what I mean? Like I still want to try. I'm almost 40, guys, and I still want to try more stuff. Mind you, not everything, because I know I'm getting older.
Okay.
And I need to take care of myself. But
don't be breaking yourself.
I hope not. But I don't want to stop, But that's something, that cooking too.
Really?
Yeah. Cooking is really my time. Like when I cook with Leilani, it's funny. Like she actually brings, you know what I mean? Because I see her character and I see that's like our bonding time. But even when I'm by myself, I just like to focus. And yeah, cooking is probably really one of another. Traveling is another one. Like if we go to a new spot and the anticipation of like, oh, how's it going to be, like.
So let me get this straight. Like you get stressed and then you're like, oh, I need to go on a trip. Is that what you're telling me?
If that was the case,
that's what I heard.
If that was the case,
oh, I'm feeling stressed, I need to go on a trip.
Sure. What are you gonna do about it?
Nothing.
Do you understand now?
No, I don't get it.
No, it's nothing like that. Tony, if that was the case, we would be traveling every month.
Wow.
You see, I get stressed every month, but I'm able to handle it because of my outlets. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Like stress is not bad, guys. I think it's just the way you handle it. And I think that's what happens, man. You become stressed. Stress evolves into anxiety. Anxiety evolves into depression and other mental health things. So yeah, I think that's so important. Like communication, outlets, like what else? What else would you, well, what helps you?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm still working on that.
You are?
Yeah. I know if I get, I don't know. Because I have to, if I get to a certain point, I'll start cleaning.
Hey, get stressed some more.
Wow.
And add some folding laundry in there.
Wow. No, the laundry's your deal.
No, man, that's my nemesis. Laundry is my nemesis, guys. Oh my gosh. Hate it.
But I do notice that, I mean, it kind of depends. I don't do it all the time. But that definitely is like one thing I do is if I'm stressed out, I might start cleaning.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I mean,
but like other than that, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like,
I know.
because I don't have like a huge friend list, so I can't go out with the squad,
Wow.
So
I mean, and guys, it's crazy because I try to get Itone into doing things, but it's not easy.
Because I'm not into like the whole nature thing. I don't want to be out on the water. I can't swim.
You know what?
I don't want to be breaking my ankles hiking.
Oh my gosh. When have I ever broken my ankles? Never, never.
Knock on wood.
Okay, Leo, listen. There's no wood. I know. It's a joke right now with among our family guys. Because if we ever, and you girls know who you are, but yeah, we've had already too. So, and they always call us a trio. So, two of them already experienced it, and I'm the only one left. So, let's just pray. Oh, this is what. Yeah, but
So I don't know. I've been trying to find, different things. Like, I don't know, like I play video games, but I don't really feel like, I feel like it's more so like a distraction, and it doesn't really alleviate the stress.
right.
If that makes sense.
I do think that you sometimes have to get creative because sometimes you just don't have the time. Being a parent, work, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just, I don't know, you kind of have to get creative, or money sometimes,
Yeah.
So, but there definitely is or are things out there. Read a book. Like I said, cooking, or it just could be Netflix. Relax in Netflix. I don't know. That might be it too. For some people, it's just sitting back, literally.
At the end of the day, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
But definitely find something.
But I think I do want to say that I think that's after the fact, after seeking help. Because
That's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
And find someone who you can talk to.
Because I think,
And if it's something that that person can't help you with, then maybe you might need to seek professional help.
right, and that's what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
first seek that professional help, because sometimes you just don't know how to reach that outlet point, right? To like kind of say, okay, this is what I need to do to help me, and you just need that professional help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To guide you, to help you. Or sometimes you just need to hear things that you were kind of oblivious to, and not letting go. And it's kind of hinders you to actually take that step. You know what I mean? To kind of understand why you got to the point that you are. Because sometimes I do believe it, man. Like, sometimes people can get to the point where it's like, this is never going to end. And maybe that's why they delete themselves. Like, this is always going to be me. And that's what you want to avoid. Such a
we have a couple minutes left, and I actually wanted to bring this up too, and just to get your thoughts on it. When I was in nursing school, their message was healing man mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? And
and then in my profession is socially instead of spiritually. Then that
socially,
yeah, it's like which is mentally, physically, mentally, yeah, and socially.
what that don't even, see, that's what's wrong with y'all. Okay, listen, as a person, you are mind, body, and spirit, not mind, body, and social. That's the problem with the social workers.
Don't say that.
Okay,
Don't say that.
That's the problem with y'all.
Don't say that.
Y'all healing people socially.
It's a gift. Okay, it's a gift.
So, I want to focus on this whole spiritual part. In the Bible, and this is why I question our practices in the mental health field.
Okay.
Mind you, let me say this. Psychology is only like 70 years old.
Right.
So before that, there was nothing. And I remember hearing a passage in the Bible, and the passage.
Sorry, my chancla fell to ignore that.
So I remember hearing a passage in the Bible, and specifically, this was in the Gospels, and Jesus was traveling or something, and he came to a town where the people in the town basically said that there was a guy chilling in the graveyard, and he was like insane. He was crazy. He was mentally ill. Like when I read the passage, it seemed like he was somebody who was definitely experiencing some sort of psychosis,
Okay.
right? But the thing was, it wasn't actually psychosis. It was possession.
I remember that.
Yes. So, well, and then so Jesus went to him and he drew the demons out of the person, right? So that really made me wonder how much of mental illness, specifically psychosis, but I think other diagnoses can probably be tied to it too. How much of it is like true mental illness versus possible possession or influence from demonic influence?
I think that from what I've seen in my experience is that, I do think that when you're a believer, this is what I believe, that you are not able to get possessed. I do think that the Spirit of God is, it's way, 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 way mightier than being possessed.
Right. So
and I do know people that are believers and do unfortunately experience psychosis, right? There's no way. I'm not saying that not every case, you know what I mean? But just from knowing that people are believers and are going through that, you know what I mean? I think there needs to be a separation from that.
So that's why I said, not just possession, but also influence as well. Because I don't think believers can be possessed, but I do believe that we can be influenced. And so what if the enemy is influencing you to be down on yourself, to be depressed?
I mean, the mind is very powerful, man. And genetics are also very powerful. You know what I mean? So, I mean, over the years, I think that science has grown to learn that, unfortunately, can be passed down, to the next generation or skip a gen, So there's proof of that. You're not able to, if that's the case, then you're not able to control it. Now, as far as being influenced, how influenced, man? That's deep, because you're just like, I'm just thinking, right? Like, I'm just thinking of like the symptoms that somebody, that has the diagnosis goes through. That's insane, because it really, really, really messes up your whole life.
Right.
And not to say that you don't get back on track, because you can, so if you guys are not educated in that, like somebody with that can definitely get back on track on life, work, have a normal life, right? Family, everything. So, but that's like deep, man, because in order to, to be like that influence, to get to that point, like, man, what is happening? Like,
I don't know, but it could just be like a simple whisper, like, you're not enough, you're a failure, putting those thoughts into your head.
But what's the difference between somebody who's being depressed? Like saying you're not enough, you're a failure, you don't deserve to be in this world.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, just based on the passage, like, where's the division between like I guess, clinical depression and spiritual depression, I guess. Am I making that up?
What? Spiritual depression?
Yeah. Like, like I said, like the enemy influencing you and becoming depressed.
I mean, I do feel like they intertwine to a certain point. You know what I
and
mean?
they might intertwine,
I think they do.
you know.
I think they do. I think that, somebody who is a faith, you know what I mean, that knows the word of God, like, doesn't mean that we can't get depressed. I think that's like the biggest misconception, or I'm
Right.
sorry, or have like a mental health disorder. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that. I don't believe that somebody cannot not. We're only human at the end of the day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as much as we want to say like, hey, my faith is will never get me depressed, will never give me anxiety, will never get me into a state of psychosis. Like, that's insane. That's insane, man.
Right. And I'm not saying that Christians or believers
I know what you're saying, though.
can't be. I just wonder, based on that passage, like how many people are dealing with, something that's spiritual versus how many people actually have a chemical imbalance.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're. Okay. I see what you're saying now.
Because
Man,
one thing that's not done in psychology and in the medical field, just in general, is we are not treating people spiritually.
Right. And you know what's crazy? That I've seen like success stories, like people that do seek help from like a therapist with a like a spiritual aspect into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have seen growth. You know what I mean? So, like, some people just want to believe in science. And that's
one thing that I appreciated about working at Loma Linda, I was just telling this to one of my coworkers, is before we got the day started and went to go and see our patients, we actually started the day off in prayer.
Yeah.
So before we treat somebody else, we're actually treating ourselves, at least spiritually.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, because that's something that we used to do at APU as well. Like, we used to have like an event or an outreach, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, work. We used to go like do events with the homeless or anything like that. We would start with the prayer. But yeah, man, I do think that there's probably a component there when you have that spiritual part into it, like, I do think that medicine does work, but I don't think that every therapist is in the right field, should I say.
Right.
I think, it's sad to say, like, it's such a rewarding field. But when you're there for the right reason, are you there really to help? Or are you there just to like, yeah, okay, here's a medication.
Right. And again, I do believe that medicine works, and I've seen it work,
Right.
but it's only treating like physical symptoms. You're not treating, not treating that spiritual part.
Right. So you're just treating like the chemical balance, right? Just kind of regulating that, the chemical balance. Like, but yeah, you're right. Maybe that is something that's missing in somebody who doesn't have faith.
I think that's missing from all aspects of the medical field. I really do.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? In all aspects.
Not treating people spiritually. I didn't see it in mental health, and
okay.
I did the hardcore psych where they were all criminals. I did the substance abuse. I didn't see any of it. What we're doing is we're pushing first and foremost, we're pushing medication. To the
not in substance abuse.
They're pushing medication.
But don't they do like the steps? And aren't some related
So,
to like
okay,
the
so
spiritual?
where I was working was not a 12-step program,
Okay.
right?
Oh, they don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It
Okay.
was not a 12-step
Okay.
program. You
Okay. That
know,
makes
we
sense.
got people who were like, you know, detoxing. Yeah, there was no spirituality
You know what's so
like at
interesting
all.
in that wow, it's so crazy that you just said that because we just recently went on a trip to Arizona, right? And you know, my uncle was talking about that. He was talking about like his experience in rehab and what really got him through. It's like talking about the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How it created a community for him because then what were others doing? Remember what he said?
What do you say?
That others were seeking him.
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean? So he started this where people were sending others to him, you know, to talk about the word of God. You know what I mean? That's what was helping them at that time. That's incredible.
Man, I think one of my greatest memories in the working in substance abuse, there was a girl who came in. I say girl, but she was probably my age at the time. And I remember talking to her about God, and she was like, I don't know, you know, she basically said she didn't know anything about God, didn't know anything about Jesus. And I said, you know what? I had one of those little handheld New Testament Bibles in my car. Man, it had been there for years. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to give this book to you. I was like, I've had this.
Dang.
I had that book in my glove compartment for years.
Right.
And I was like, I think I'm supposed to give this to you. And
Wow.
I gave it to her, and I kid you not, like over the next couple of days, like she was reading that book and like we were talking about it, like she was amazed and I was amazed. I was like, well, I didn't think that, you know, it would have
Such
like
an
that
impact.
big of an impact,
Right. That's
you know.
amazing. But you see how God spoke to you though? How God said like the go to your trunk and go get that book for
Yeah.
her. You know what I mean? Like you could have forgotten that you had that book in the trunk. We forget things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
And it
that's
had been there for so long.
that's like amazing, man.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So I
man.
don't know. I thought that was crazy.
That's
I
amazing.
hope she's doing well too.
Yeah.
She's, I mean, you know, you never know, but she seemed like she was making progress while she was there.
Yeah.
So, you know, wish her well.
But yeah, man, this has been a deep conversation. I mean, it's never easy, guys, to talk about stuff like that. You know, and it's no joke. You know, it's not a joke, but
And if you're feeling down, please go get help.
yeah.
You know, there's a mental health hotline out there. You know, I don't know the number, but
And I
maybe we
just,
can post it right here.
yeah, actually, that would be a great idea. And I do want to say that this part, like, it's very important that when you do, let's say you do seek that professional help and you do see a therapist, don't give up if the first one is just not a match, because that's another thing we can talk about. You know, we don't have time right now, but, you know, pairing up with the right therapist is a thing, you know, and we can go deeper. It could be gender, could be ethnicity, it can be, you know what I mean? Many things. And sometimes I've seen where it takes even up to 8, 9, 10 times before you feel like, wow. And unfortunately, right now, there's such a big turnaround that I've heard. It's hard to have one therapy for a long time. And that's so important because you're not developing a relationship with your therapist. It's almost like you're starting over and over again, you know? So that sucks. But yeah, like don't give up on that. Like I think that sometimes it just takes a couple tries.
Yeah. And my guys, my men out there, don't be afraid to go get help.
Yeah. Talk to your wife.
Yeah,
Communicate.
hey, that guy talked to his wife, and look what happened.
What guy?
Mauru Bado.
He wasn't married.
Well, girlfriend or whatever it was.
Okay, first of all, like as parents, like it's so hard, huh? It's so hard because we never know what's going on in our kids' mind. But we have to kind of drill that into them that, we're here, and we kind of, sometimes we lose ourselves in our own world, guys. And that's what I mean. Check up on people that, I don't know, like just your family, your loved ones, your friends. It's very important. I don't know. I do it and probably it bugs the heck out of people, but
Yeah, check on the ones you love, because you never know when it's gonna be too late.
right. So, like Tony said, guys, please, like, even if you're, just think it's the end of the world or nobody's listening, trust me, there is somebody that's willing to listen, right? But if you guys want to comment some of the ways you guys kind of have that self-care day, maybe it'll help you, Tony. Give them idea, guys. Give them ideas.
Yeah, give me some ideas, because I'm trying to find a way to self-care.
Yeah, you go exercise. Does that help?
I don't like to exercise though.
My God, you like to eat. Self-care eating.
But I don't want to. I don't want to eat though.
Then
No, you know what?
why don't you like crochet maybe?
I know what it is.
Dime.
I'm probably gonna have to spend money and like get massages or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
No,
I told you, let's go to the spa. I told you.
I said for my self-help.
Oh, wow.
Okay? You already have your routine. You go out with your
It's not a routine,
friends.
though. It's not a routine.
Listen,
okay, so
you go
that's
out
what
with
I'm
your
gonna
friends.
say.
You do your stuff. Maybe I'm gonna just go and get a massage by myself.
Okay.
Okay, not we.
So he said something very important. You can establish your own routine or not have a routine. I don't like routines. That's one thing about me, guys. I don't have to do this. I don't like routines. Bothers me. I like to be all over the world.
Okay, but
all over the map.
You already have. What I meant by routine is you have the things that you like to do,
right,
to decrease stress.
Right.
Okay, that doesn't mean you have to invade what I need. What I want to do.
Oh my gosh! I was just gonna say read a book. That would have been a perfect topic to talk about Tony's condition.
Okay.
Man, your facial expression. We'll talk about it next time, guys. But yes, give them ideas. Give them ideas. What can Tony do? And then you know what, guys? I will record it. We'll do it, and I will record it. We'll make a video out of it. How about that?
They can go visit the TikTok to go see it.
There you go. That'd be cool. I think that's a plan.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Did we hit our hour already?
Past an hour.
Oh, Lord. All right. Good.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, though. And
Please
like our
subscribe.
video. Please.
Journey to 100.
There you go. Bye.